Okay, well I get these welded up. Throw a little paint on them now and bolt them on, put the box on. Yeah, ready for the road. Oh, slowly getting there, drilling through all these layers of frame. It's a lot of drilling. That one over there's bolted on. This one is getting there. Soon the old box will be on there. I got the vent holes drilled in the cabinet there. You can see them or not. Be over top of each battery. Got the brackets painted up, just waiting for them to dry. Stick them on. Put this box on. I'll make a tray for the batteries next. Marking out a battery tray here. I think it might work. Something to set the batteries on when they're inside. Bend these little tabs over so I can put a holder. I'll start cutting it out and see what it looks like. So I got to replace the window glass and driver's door. I got it out. New glass here, or new used glass. Didn't work anyways. Put that in. Just cutting rubber here to go around the frame. Just got basically what it looks like. Rubber jammed in between the frame and the glass. I'll try to get that going here, see how that works. Alright, back in action. Well, we're going to try a first start here, see if we can get her to go. mount this new hydraulic tank and put it right down in between the frame here. Just making some mounting hardware for it. I cut a piece of this 4-inch square tubing right here. Build some holes in it. And bolt it onto the frame here. And run a couple straps around, I think. Should bolt right up there. We'll get that bolted on, give it a whirl. I'll put a little lip on there, something we can run a bolt through. I got the tank partially in here. The brackets, I got one tab welded on, bolted down there. Just gonna make another piece of flat bar go in here, drill this, weld it across here. That should hold her. It's pretty solid there right now. So if I get the second one in, hose is right here to go in the outlet of the tank. Block for the rollback ramp is here. That'll be the inlet there coming from the block. Yeah, plug away at her, get this cut. Alright, it's all in. Solid as a church now. Have to get my hose hooked up. We'll call her a day. Well, I can see if we can cut this up some. Save these two beams for building new deck. I finally got the plasma cutter so it would reach out there to the end and cut that old deck off these two I-beams or wide flange. Save that winch. Anyways, cut and see what happens. Well, what was one is now two. I can say it didn't want to come apart, but it did come apart. So you can see why it needs a new deck. Pretty sure I can use these beams over, so we'll clean them up with a grinder and get some new steel. Start at her. Starting to make a little bit of headway. Get her cleaned up pretty good. Coat of paint on those. Got this all notched out the way I want it. Just putting this angle in here for the wood to sit on. It's the thickness of the board, and then I gotta notch it around the steel, but you'll see when I'm done. But anyways, an angle It's all tacked in there. Finish welding this one in. And we start putting these side beams down the side here, and then run our cross members, cutting them and running those over. I got this one here kind of notched already the way I wanted it. It's not welded yet, but it's going to come down to a point here, and then I'll put the round in it. A piece of round bar right here. Anyways, keep going at her. Keep you up to date if I can. I got one rail all on. The other one's mocked up there, sitting on my homemade high-rise jack stands. Clamped up there, pull it in. We'll start getting that one welded up, fit it, and then we'll start cutting all these cross braces and putting them in there. Our lumber's outside. It's gonna be wood deck on this one. Oh, keep plugging away. Most of the deck welded up. Got a racket from that exhaust, but I don't want to breathe in those fumes from the galvanized. I got this fan here, blows stuff outside. Works good, but awful noisy. Get her all painted, flat black. Just drying there now. Tomorrow we'll start putting the wood on, see how that turns out. I brought the wood in. It's hemlock, supposed to be good for rot resistant and strong. So I 45 the side on the first one off here, just to cover up my awful welds, and I'll just cut them to length. Start bolting them down. See how that turns out. Well, the floor is coming pretty good, but it's a good thing it rained last night, because this thing showed up underneath the snow. Well, it was under the snow, and when the rains came, that's supposed to go under the deck for the cylinder to hook to that pushes the deck back and forth. I would have had that all boarded in. Anyway, I'm welding these brackets on here. I'm going to bolt it right to that unistrut. Try that. That should hold it. Bolt her in up there. I got the nuts in there. You see that there? Might have to put a couple stiffeners on to stiffen it up after. Try this in there first. And I got it measured out and cut it off. Get the L brackets partially welded on. I don't remember which way it faced either. This was forward or that was backward. I don't know. I'm thinking this was the back because it's a lot more rusted. A lot of corrosion in there. It's a little cleaner on this side, so this was probably facing forward. I'm gonna try that. I think I could just spin it around anyways on those brackets. I'll give her a try. See how it goes in. Just glad I got it in there before I got all that wood on. Been a pain in the ass working up underneath. So the wood's coming pretty good. Getting there with that. I get this piece in that the pushback cylinder hooks onto. Put some extra bracing on it there with the unistrut. It's all bolted in. Hopefully that'll be good enough. If not, we'll have to revisit it, but it looks pretty strong to me. We'll test her out. Gotta get this thing out of here. Taking up a lot of garage room. I gotta get the hole saw and put some lights in here yet. Fish some wires through. A few little things left to do. Better get at her. These old pins there that hold the ramp, the tilt where we're supposed to tilt, they're pretty beat. So yeah, they're kind of wore out and they're all cracked. I cut them off the ramp outside. These unbolted off the frame. So I'm gonna make some new ones here. I've been playing with the old lathe here, trying to get some new pins and some heavy wall pipe. It's a little heavier than other stuff. I think they'll work just nicely. I got these mounts leveled out a bit. They were bent right down. So actually it was bent up here and tipped down this way. I cut out a couple little gussets I'm going to put on here to weld them in there. Strengthen the back side of this up. Took a little bit of work, but me and Molly there, we got her back to being relatively flat. I'll grind this, weld those in, paint the back end up here. It's the only thing that hasn't been painted is this back because I needed to do some work on it. Get that done and get ready to put the ramp on. Well, I got the ramp undercarriage in here. Ramp undercarriage. Put the new back tail piece on it. Had a couple of good buddies made that up when I said they wanted a little project. There you go. Just gotta weld the new hinges on here. Around here somewhere. Got her buffed down pretty good. Ready for get the welding done. Get some paint on her. She'll look like new. These sliders here, I gotta give them some love yet. I'll throw them in the sandblaster. Cut this junk off. It'll be ready to go. Look at this part of the ramp all ready to go, I believe. Put new pads on. Put the new back end on. So the other one was pretty rotted. And wire brushed her all down with the spinning wheel of death. And put the rust inhibitor and then a couple coats of black. Should be good to go. Take this outside because I can't fit it on in here. We'll bring the deck in, start put a new deck on. Get that ready to go. Oh, get one wired up here. So this is tail lights, marker light, and the blinker, and brake, and backup light. Oh, get her on the truck. I should get the other one wired and get it back together. I'll just tearing this winch apart, see what was wrong with that. This here wouldn't, she wouldn't release, but I see it just come unhooked from the shifting fork here. Probably was a snap ring on there or something at one time. Probably rusted off. So that's kind of good news. That's an easy fix. But getting this apart is another story. Oh, these bolts broke off into the aluminum there. Have to drill them all out, retap them. This all needs to be sandblasted. Oh yeah, it's quite a mess, so get at her, get her cleaned up. I'm gonna have to cut this off to get it apart, because I can't spread that enough to get the broken bolts out. I'll get cutting her apart. Alright, time to start putting this back together. Got the shifting fork back in here. It's all hooked up. It's gonna work. In and out. Locks in here. Clean these up, painted them up a little bit. So we get her back together. Get her back on the deck, try her out. Just soldering up some wires there to this pigtail LED light I bought. I bought a bunch of them. I guess they're in the dash lights. Let's see if it works. Yeah, so I guess that works. Plan is to stick it down in my shifter here. I gouged that out a bit. I ordered this crystal ball off of the old Amazon. So you can get that on there with the LED down behind it. You know, just for fun. So we're working away at that. Let's see how that turns out. She's a little... oh, there she goes. A little tight, all right. Like that. I mixed up some epoxy. Put a load on there. Get lots on there and in there. Hopefully that'll do it. Hopefully it'll stay. A little drip. We'll see how it dries up. Shifter all back in. They're all mounted. Everything's hooked up, wired up. I don't know, maybe it's too much. Guess we'll see. For now, that's it. Well, having fun with mirrors here. I had three of them to work with, so I got one on, driver's side one on here. Pretty happy with it so far. I don't know. Used some existing holes. Had to fill a couple of holes, but I mean, there was holes everywhere in this door. Same as the other side, but it's on there, good and solid. Working on the other side right now. Say I had one old mirror in the 56 original equipment stuff here, and I had two off the 97. I didn't like this one because it had a light in it, but the other one's actually the 56 mirror I'm going to put on the passenger side. Made up a little mounting bracket for emergency beacon light. Put that right about there in the center of this light bar. I got two already mounted here, one on each side for work lights to shine back on the bed. Just cut it out of this piece of scrap stainless unit strut. Welded a couple bolts in there. We'll get that mounted on there. Step closer to painting this bar. I got the light bar here all prepped, all wired. Some brackets welded on for lights. Chopped her off to length. The wires run through there. I got the mount here all kind of mocked up and tacked in there, just so I can, I'll take it off after and finish weld. I just want to tack it together, see what it looks like first before I go. And still got the fuel cap all right. Handle, pump her in. The height looks pretty good, same height as the roof. I didn't want it sticking up. I think that'll do. Weld that on there. Just had that in there for a shim. Pull the bracket here and put an angle up. Keep it from vibrating too bad. First, I'd like to see really how far the deck comes in. I think it's right here, but I think I'll wait and put the deck on. I can always put this in after. Drill that broken off bolt out. Make some brackets here to hold the exhaust stack on. So the idea I have is to make two clamps. Clamp that around the pipe. Clamp this around the headache rack. I'm going to weld the two of them together. It's going to be at a little bit of an angle like that, because the headache rack is at a bit of an angle according to the pipe. So I got like 8 degrees off of 90. That's about the height I want right there. So and clamp it around here, have a clamp around here. But bam, Bob's your uncle. I think she's all ready to weld. Got her even here. Here. Got our 80 degrees on here. 82, that's what we wanted. That's 8 degrees off. And she's square. Let's weld her. See what happens. Oh, driver just dropped off my new saw here. Get her opened up for cutting metal. So I'm working on the exhaust here. Got the stack on. Piece made for down there to go under the frame. My clamp on. I'm just cutting some wedges here so I can make a pipe. Cutting some 9-degree wedges, and then you can clock them to whatever you want. Make some elbows, 45s or 22.5s, whatever you need. So I'll just cut a few of those, and then we'll get welding it up.